Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bone Adventure 3. I'm still working my way through Blocky's Revenge. What I have done so far is I fired up Wireshark, grabbed some packets here of the gates opening, or sorry, the logic gates, turning them on and turning them off. I did that with all 32 bits of the final puzzle. And I went back to the previous puzzles and did the same just to see how it works. There's a protocol for ones and zeros, and I figured since the last time I did Blocky's Revenge, and now that I've dug into the challenge, by the way, I definitely recall the approximately 12 hours I spent, give or take, mapping out the entire logic puzzle by hand on paper and then using Z3 to solve the challenge. It having recalled that ordeal, I was much less keen to repeat it. And so what I did is I grabbed those protocols and I considered. So there's two ways to break a puzzle like this. All right, and it's a trade-off between resources. There's time, and then there's labor. All right. What I did last time was I expended a lot of labor to solve it in a shorter amount of time. And I know it doesn't seem like 10, 12 hours is that short of a time, but we're talking about a 32-bit input here, which means that, technically speaking, the alternative method could take years, even. That said, while I expended labor to reduce time last time, I considered expending time to reduce labor and instead grabbing those packets and putting them into the proxy to just kind of like randomly generate passwords over the course of a couple of days in the hopes that it would come across something. That is still a viable strategy, which I have not yet entirely ruled out. I may still do that. However, I did also recall while I was looking at some of the files I have in my directory for this course that I managed to find also an Excel spreadsheet for the Blocky's Revenge puzzle. So somebody had already mapped out in Excel the various different rows of inputs. So we can see, like here we have rows of nans and zors and ands and so on all the way down. And I thought, hey, before I, write up a script here in the proxy to randomly try these inputs and see if we can get a code, might take, might take, might get it in 5 minutes, might take weeks, might not get it at all because I don't have that much time to let it run before the course ends. Why don't we take a look at this Excel spreadsheet and do what we do with that? So I pulled it up, and I've already gone through the first couple of switches. And these I have randomly selected on and off. Not entirely randomly. So let me show you a little bit of what my process has been here. So for example, if I go back here to switch 4 here, if I toggle that off, um, notice that it turned a lot more red that were previously green. That's really my methodology here. I'm just turning things on randomly, and then it's like, okay, well, that seemed to do a good thing, kind of more than anything else. And then I started looking at the formulas, and I can see here that here's an AND gate that hasn't been budging. So I can see that C7 and C26 need to be on in order for this to be on. So that means that if I do that, then see now row 2 is starting to get screwed up. Anyway, I don't have a big, like, massive master plan here. I don't have a super clever way of solving this. My plan is to brute force the puzzle over the course of the next couple of days and see if I get anywhere with it. But I figured I would try this for a little while. And I'm not going to sit here and make you watch the whole thing while I'm doing this. But I am going to burn a little bit of tape so that you can see if I arrive at a solution. But this isn't going to be. Don't expect a big trick here or anything like that. This is I'm just going to be working through this a little bit as much as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mute, and you can watch if you want to watch. Skip to the end if you want to see if I actually find a solution. Probably won't, to be clear. All right, that's roughly 10 minutes of farting around here, and yeah, I'm seeing how things are fitting together. I'm definitely remembering mapping all of this. Not in this spreadsheet. This is not my spreadsheet, but I'm definitely remembering mapping all of this out myself before it all comes down to this, which is reliant on this whole row of ors, which then branches back and into this. But at this point, what I'm basically doing is randomly trying things anyway. So it strikes me that I might as well go ahead and brute force it then, because all we're doing there is randomly trying things as well. So let me show you what I can do or what I'm going to do. All right, so here we have our inputs. This is the last of the inputs, of course. Over here on Notepad, I have collected all of the packets for on and off. So this is number 32, the last input. All right, this is the on packet. As you can see, it's currently off. And if I go to the proxy, I can server and throw this up in there. And you can see it turns it on. I can grab the off packet, back in there, and turn it off. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is the part of the parser script, not the parser script, sorry, the proxy script that will accept an input. That's where I'm typing in the server and then the command. I'm going to appropriate this cream input, which I don't know what it's there for or what it was originally supposed to do. But what I'm going to do is appropriate that, throw all these packets in there, and then I'm going to, whenever I type cream into the prompt for the proxy, it will iterate through random iterations of these. So it will basically choose one of each set, an on or an off per input, and send that, and it will just continue to do that until eventually it opens up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that into here. I'm going to let it run overnight. I'm going to check it periodically. I won't capture the moment that if it works. And again, this is 32 inputs, so we could sit here and do this for years and not find a solution. It's going to be entirely based on chance. So it's 32 times 2 is the number of potential answers there are, or not potential answers, the potential iterations of this particular puzzle, meaning that we might not come across anything, but because I'm going to be sitting there letting it running, I won't be able to capture that moment on film. Because I'm not going to sit here and screen record for the entire rest of the week or whatever. That would be an insane video to capture. So I will come back and record the results. Let's see if I write it in here. I'm going to let it run overnight. So I'll check in the morning, and we'll run tape on that. And depending on how things go, I might let it run for a couple of days if everything remains stable. So if you're doing your assignments and you catch me just chilling here in Fort Blocks, just know I'm AFK. I'm just letting my brute force script run. All right. So we'll come back to you on part 3 with the results of this baby right here, and I'll show exactly what my code is at that time too. Not that it's going to be, super amazing code or anything. It's just going to be these packets randomly selected per input. So, all right, take care. See you on the next one.